The way Tamara switched up on Hayden, child, oh my gosh. Like her switch up was so clean, so nice, so rich. But she was like, I see you home. I see you when you get home. Go make that money for us. Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Beanie Summer, and I'm back with another recap of Sisters episode 21. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification button so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. And to all my subscribers, thank you so much. To all my new visitors, please subscribe. And yes, let's get into this recap, y'all. So, of course, the trailer starts off with Gary at Hayden's house, basically telling him that, hey, Tamara is not who she says she is. She is a scam. She is a leech. She is a whore. And she is a plant. And basically, Fatima set her up to do this to you. Hayden basically was like, no, hell no, fuck out of here. That is my girl. She wouldn't do that to me, and do not call her a whore again. Hayden tells Gary, no, first of all, you need to find yourself a new tax person because I'm not with the shits. You need to get off my property. What kind of friend are you? And you just mad that you and Andy is going through some shit and you're projecting your stuff onto me. Please leave. Gary tells Hayden, go ask Tamara yourself. Go ahead, go in there and ask her if she knows Fatima. And get her to sign the annulment. Mind you, Hayden don't give a fuck. He's telling Gary to get off his property. He don't want to hear it. So when Gary finally leaves, Hayden goes inside, and there goes Tamara asking him, babe, what's wrong? What's happening? And he says straight up, do you know Fatima? He asks Tamara straight up, do you know Fatima? And Tamara goes with the straightest face, no, I do not. Who's that? Like, I don't know who that is. And he goes, so you don't know her at all? And Tamara says, no, I do not. Like, what's going on, babe? Hayden keeps asking Tamara the same questions, like, you know Fatima, how you know her, la la la. Tamara goes, isn't that the girl that you work with? I heard you on the phone with her. And Hayden says, no, so you do know her. Tamara goes, no, I do not. Right? So he basically explains to Tamara that he feel like she knows Fatima and she needs to sign the annulment. So here's when Tamara, you could tell, like, she's like, okay, he's really backing me in this corner and I might have to come clean. So before she comes clean, Tamara says, like, you trusting Gary over me, you making him come between us. And Hayden is like, you know what, just sign the papers. Like, I don't care, just sign the papers. And then Tamara says, no, I don't, you scrawny ass nigga. His face, Hayden's face was like, what? The switch up was fast, honey. She was like, you scrawny ass nigga, you think I'm a dumb bitch? I am not. I've been playing you and I'm not signing shit. Tamara then says, I know about this shit. I know how marriage works and I'm not signing nothing. And Hayden says, you know I'm a lawyer, right? And she says, yes, I know you're a lawyer. And I also have lawyers on my side too. And they will do anything I say because they love me and I fuck them really good. So yeah, she got everything in the bags. And then she says to Hayden, I'm going to take everything you got. So go to work and make us some money. And she walks away. I'm like, yo. I love the fact that she stand on not knowing Fatima at the end of the day. She was like, I don't know her. I don't care. But at the end of the day, it's me and you. And I'm ready for all the shits. Like, and Hayden really did look surprised. Like, oh, wow. Like, you really are that bitch. So, at the end of the day, I don't know if Hayden is going to forgive her or want to take her back. Because at the end of the day, she's in his house. And it's clear that she's not going anywhere. It is clear. It's obvious that she is standing 10 toes on getting all your bread. all of it. When Hayden goes to work, he runs right into Zach and Fatima. Hayden didn't waste no time. He went straight for the gutters and was like, yo, you been fucking with me? Fatima, you been fucking with me? Y'all think this is a joke? Playing with my emotions and setting this girl on me? Y'all think y'all got it? Alright, cool. Like, Hayden was not fucking around. And you know, Fatima and Zach is like, what are you talking about? We don't know what you're talking about. Fall back. Today is not the day. We don't have time for this. Because mind you, before Hayden came, Zach and Fatima was talking to the lawyer, Wesley, right? So Hayden is still like going at it, like, oh, you're gonna do this, Fatima. This is not gonna be the end. Like, I'm coming at y'all, like hard body, like going hard. And you know, Andy walked up and basically was like, you know, Hayden, today's not the day. Leave them alone. Hayden says, this is, y'all just opened up a can of worms and I'm coming after y'all. You're not going to get away with this. And he walks away. Sadly, Hayden, Fatima and Zach is not the one to be fucked with. Like, I get you're upset. We all know that you're upset. And yes, that was probably grimy to do. But at the end of the day, you was a grimy ass nigga. So how about you take your L and you keep it pushing? Because messing with Zach, you know what? Messing with Fatima is a lot. Like, it's a lot. And she has a cousin. And Miss Madam do not motherfucking play. So please, don't mess with her before you end up in the hospital, not getting out the hospital. You feel me? Y'all understand what I'm trying to say? But anywho's. So like I was saying earlier, before Hayden interrupts Zach and Fatima love for each other, Zach and Fatima was talking to Wesley, the lawyer, about getting custody for Michael. And, you know, Zach and Fatima was talking, and Zach was saying to Fatima, like, thank you so much for being there. Like, other women won't stand for all of this. They would have been gone. And Fatima was like, babe, I love you, and I'm here for you, and all of that in the past is in the past. I'm here for you now, and as long as you treat me the way you're supposed to, I'm always going to be here for you. So they hug. Wesley walks up and says, you know what? I don't have no good news. It didn't work out the way we thought it was going to work out. Then Zach says, let me guess, they don't have enough evidence from DCF. Zach was like, what about the next door neighbor? Like, her complaints and stuff like that. And Wesley was like, that's not enough. The judge don't want to hear none of that. So Wesley was basically telling Zach and Fatima that they need to have more patience, and he's going to continue trying to help and talk to his other people to find out like what else they could do. And Zach says, okay, maybe on our end, we could get more evidence of abuse. And Wesley was like, that wouldn't hurt as well. Like, if y'all could do that, y'all could do that. That'd be great. But other than that, we all need to have patience. So then Wesley walks away, and Fatima tells Zach, like, hey, I know you're mad. It didn't turn out the way we wanted to, but we figured things out. Go home, and when I get off, we will discuss everything and try to figure out what's next. So Fatima is just being a great, perfect girlfriend / fiance as she can be. I know Zach and Fatima is going to figure it out no matter what it is. I just hope the kid, Michael, just don't get any more abuse than he already is. And I hope he could survive until Zach and Fatima get him out that horrible, horrible house. What would y'all do if y'all was in Zach and Fatima situation? Like, would y'all just go get Michael, or would y'all wait? Would y'all try to have patience? Or like, how would y'all react in that whole situation? Because to be honest, I feel like with me, I'm just going to be all up in Heather's business. Like, every day I'll be in her business. Like, when she wake up, I'm like, hey, do you need help taking him to school? Hey, did he eat? Hey, can I take him to the park? I would have been in her face like heavy, like, girl, you can't get rid of me. Okay, now I'm on Sabrina. So Sabrina meets up with her old boss to discuss basically her potentially going back to work. So she sees her manager, they say hi, and her manager says, like, how are you? How you been? And Sabrina's like, hey, I'm all right. So then her manager offers her her job back and tells her it's not going to be at the same location. It's going to be at the downtown location. And basically, can you start Monday? And Sabrina is happy. She's like, yes, I can start Monday. Thank you so much for giving me a chance. Like, thank you for believing in me that I didn't do anything. And Sabrina asks her manager, what about Maurice? The manager then goes and say, well, Maurice, I don't think he will be able to get his job back. Yeah, this situation basically is kind of sort of his fault, and I tried to talk to the higher ups about it, but they're not budging. Maurice is out the question. He cannot get his job back. Sabrina says to her, like, hey, is there anything else you could do? And she says, no, there's nothing else I could do. And I was hoping you could tell Maurice because we was not going to. Sabrina was like, y'all wasn't going to tell Maurice he wasn't going to get his job back? And the manager says, like, oh, it's kind of like a liability type thing. And, we was just not going to say nothing. So Sabrina basically knows now that she has to be the one to tell Maurice the bad news. Sad face. Because at the end of the day, like, that is her best friend. And she don't want to hurt him. But you got to take responsibility of, like, what you caused in the situation, like how you played a role in the situation. And the fact that Maurice was so careless with how he moved with men and inviting the strangers to his home and, like, just doing a lot. Like, that caused the situation, period. Like, that's what caused it. So it's kind of Marie's fault, but not really Marie's fault. Let me know how y'all feel about that, because I know it has to be hard for Sabrina to tell Maurice that he's not going to get his job back. But to know that you played a role in you not having your job back, you should understand that. Like, you should have blamed that on nobody but yourself. But no, Maurice, he's definitely going to find somebody else to blame. So after that, Sabrina goes to Maurice's house to tell him the unfortunate news that he would not be returning to work. So when Sabrina walked in, she looked really nervous, and she sat down, and Maurice was like, girl, just tell me what you got to tell me. Like, is it bad news? And she was like, no, I met with the manager and I got my job back. And Maurice was like, good, like, I can't wait to start work again, la la la. And Sabrina was like, no. I got my job back. You did not get your job back. And Maurice was like, what? How can they do this to me? Whatever. Sabrina then says, it's not only just because of what happened, it's also you had complaints prior to this whole situation. And Maurice said, people was complaining about me. But my thing right there is, Maurice, you feel like niggas was complaining about you? You feel like you was a good associate, like you was just doing the best you can, you never caused trouble, like, Maurice. Oh my goodness. I feel so bad for him, but I was like, come on, you have to see the things that you be doing. You can't just be so oblivious of how you react and how you behave. But Sabrina was like, yeah, that's what she said, but I'm sorry. And he was like, well, at least you got your job back. And Sabrina was like, yeah, they're going to move you to the downtown location, whatever. And I'm going to be an assistant manager. And Maurice was like, damn, they demoted you. Like, girl, that's fucked up, whatever. And Sabrina is like, it's okay. Like, it's all good. What got me is when Maurice was like, you know what? They can't find me off of this. I'm going to sue them. You could tell in Sabrina's face, she was just like, here we go with the fucking antics. The drama again, like, just move on. Just move on. Like, you got fired. Find another job. Go to another branch. Maurice was like, no, I am going to sue them. Like, they can't find me off of this. Like, that's fucked up. So we're going to see what happens next, because at the end of the day, him suing them might affect Sabrina. But I don't even think he's looking at it like that. He's just like, oh, they did me dirty. I got to do something, grind me back. Or like, I got to be petty also. Like a tit for tat type shit. But Maurice, you don't have to be like that. You kind of sort of caused the situation. Just fucking move on. Oh my goodness. So if y'all was Sabrina, what would y'all do in that situation? Like, how would you talk to your friend about like moving on from a job? Like, you got fired, it's okay. There's more jobs out there. Like, how would y'all talk to your friend about that? Next up is Andy. So Andy is rocking this nice yellow two-piece suit, looking gorgeous as ever. So when she pulls up on Hayden talking down to Zach and Fatima, that's when she pulled up and was like, hey, go about your business, leave them alone. That's when Fatima tells her that, clearly Hayden found out about Tamara and all of that good shit, even though he deserved it. You know, um, Andy was like, this is going to go really, really bad. But then, of course, it is time for Jordan and Andy's lunch date. Jordan walks up to Andy and basically was like, this is a nice office. It's really nice. You look nice. And Andy's like, thank you. And she was like, I kind of lost track of time. And Jordan was like, do you want to reschedule? She's like, no, it's all good. Like, we could go. So he's like, all right, let's go. And they walk and they go downstairs to a regular chill spot restaurant that serves like cheeseburgers and curly fries, loaded fries, like that type of restaurant. Just chill and regular. I like the fact that Andy basically was like, she could do both vibes. She could do a chill spot or a high class spot. She's that type of chick, like a roundaway girl type thing, but really smart and elegant. And Jordan looked like he was feeling it, of course, because he really do like her. So Andy was basically explaining to Jordan, like, why they went downstairs to this restaurant because she has to go back to work and she didn't want to go too far. And Jordan was like, no, it's okay. Like, I understand you're a busy woman. You got to work. I get that. And then the conversation went left because they started talking about Gary ass. So Jordan asked, like, hey, were you and Gary serious? And Andy just shook her head and was like, yes. Jordan says right after that, like, he's such an asshole. And surprisingly, Andy agreed. Yes, he's such a fucking asshole. Like, the fact that she agreed, I was like, good. Like, say what it is. He is an asshole. Like, y'all not trying to talk about him, but he is an asshole. So they both go on talking about, like, last night and how Andy handled herself well. And Andy says, like, I didn't want your sister to find out. She walked up on the conversation. And Jordan was like, yeah, I know. She told me. But she actually really do want to talk to you. So Andy says, like, for what? And Jordan explains to Andy that, my sister's like, she is a perfectionist, I believe, or like she likes to organize everything. She has everything written down in her calendar or in her mind, and she just want to see like what dates and times were Gary with you when he was with her. So Andy was like, would that help her? And Jordan was like, I guess so. Like, she just really want to talk to you. And then Andy says, which is facts. Everybody keep on forgetting that she's going through this also, right? And Jordan's like, no, I do understand. I get that. But don't you want to also know what's up? See, the thing with Andy is, yeah, you're going through it also. But for some reason, it's more hurting on Penelope's side. Because when it's like you knew Gary for who he was, but didn't want to open your eyes to it. Like, you didn't want to be real about it. You want to be like, oh, it's nothing, but you felt something. Penelope felt like that guy was really, really a good ass, genuinely good ass guy. And Gary played her. Like, Gary pulled the wolves over her motherfucking eyes. When I tell you Penelope was shocked, she was shocked. Her eye did. She was shocked. So we get it. Andy, he did play you, but not as bad as he played Penelope. So then Jordan goes like, oh, like, it sucks that you honestly really didn't know. And she was like, I didn't. Andy's like, I really honestly did not know. And I'm really a smart woman and I had no idea. I honestly, if I was Andy's friend, I'm like, girl, you didn't want to know. Because he showed you all the signs for the minute you met him. For the minute you met him, he showed you all the signs. He was married. His wife got a PI on him. Told you every girl he was sleeping with, including yourself. It was other women. He bought a house like miles and miles and miles outside the city so you can live by yourself. Like, come on. He telling you he don't want you to work. Like, girl, the signs was there. You did not want to see them, Andy. Andy says, okay, I could think about talking to your sister. I just need some time. And Jordan was like, okay, that's cool. So they switch up the conversation and start talking about like their next date because, the food here is not so great and they want to go to dinner. So Jordan was like, hey, do you mind if we go to dinner tonight? Like somewhere with tablecloths and whatever. And Andy says like, yeah, of course. Like I wouldn't mind that. And you have been seeing me for the past couple of days. Like, you sure you're not gonna get tired of me? And he says no. He don't think he will ever get tired of her. And that was cute and that was sweet of him. It looks like he really, really do like Andy, to be honest. So I really want her to find somebody that really, really she could fuck with. So I hope he's the one. Maybe I'm pushing it, but at the end of the day, they look cute together. And I really want to see how they dinner date is gonna go because, child, I don't know. Like this sisters man is getting too good. Okay, Karen, honey, now it's your turn with that weird ass man, Brian. So Brian takes Karen to lunch. Hey, he's supposed to be taking her to the shop, right? He took her to lunch first. And then they're here at the shop and Karen is looking around and she's like, wow, this place is really nice. I can see the vision. I kinda like it. Brian says to her, it's actually cheaper to build this location out instead of making the repairs at your old shop. So Sabrina's like, okay, really? Like, maybe this is a good investment. Brian then says that with everything going on, he could have this place done in 4 months. And that got Karen really happy. She was like, oh, really? Like, that sounds great. What got me is when Brian was like, you remind me of my mother. I was like, nigga, what kind of games are you playing with Karen's mind? Like, something is not right with Brian. I don't know what it is, but something is not right about this dude. Like, bro, your wife, where is she, bro? What is she doing right now? I'm confused. There's something not right with Brian. This man said Karen reminds him of his mother. Like, no. No. So, anyways, Brian explains to Karen why she reminds him of his mother. He basically said like she's a hard worker, and she showed him and his brothers and sisters how hard work should look like. And Karen was like, "Oh, okay, I see. Sounds like somebody I love to meet." And he goes, "Yeah, you meet her one day. How? How is she gonna meet your mom? How? Like how? Like, oh my gosh." So when Sabrina was saying like how he's a good guy and his mother raised him right, Brian was like, yeah, she raised us right. My mother would have wanted any other way. And Brian goes on to say like, yeah, I have brothers. And when he said that, I was like, who could be his brothers? And I was like, maybe his brothers are the guy that's hooking up with Sabrina and Tony. Maybe no, because they're not brothers, but like maybe one of them is his brothers. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching, but when he said that, I was like, okay, like cool. You got family members. We might meet them one day, because we clearly gonna meet your mother. So then Brian goes and say, I don't know if you're doing this alone, basically meaning her pregnancy, like raising a child. And Sabrina goes, what do you mean? And Brian goes, being a mom, I could tell you really care. You're attentive. You pay attention, and all that good stuff. And you could tell when Brian said this, when he was like, oh, I don't know if the father's around. And Karen goes, he's around sometimes. Girl, he is not around. That's probably not even his baby. Let's not do Zach like that. Brian goes on to say, I'm just saying because, like, me and my wife could help you out, whatever, whenever you need it. It's like, boy, put your wife on the phone, bro. Put your wife on the phone. We need to hear her voice. Does she exist? We need to see something, a picture, a voice, a phone call, something, honey. Something. I ain't buying it. I'm not buying it. After all of that, Brian asks Karen, does she have a realtor? And she goes, you know what? I know somebody that knows somebody that might know a realtor. And of course, that somebody is fucking Zach. So she calls Zach, and Zach is on the phone with Fatima. So he tells Fatima, hey, Karen is calling me. Fatima says, like, for what? Like, okay, answer it. And he's like, no, I don't want to deal with her drama. And Fatima's like, listen, she's been being nice so far. Just let's keep her on her good side and on our good side, and let's just answer the phone, figure out what she wants. Zach answered the phone. She was so nice. Karen was so nice, so sweet, like just asking for a realtor, and hang up the phone. Zach told Fatima, like, yeah, she just asked for the realtor. I'm gonna give it to her. Like, I'm gonna give it to her right now. So yeah, and that was that with Karen. Her being nice. I don't know, for some reason I think it's gonna end soon. And I know when she meets the realtor, cause the realtor is a bad shorty. She is pretty. And I know Karen's gonna be like, oh, this is Zach's realtor. Like, he probably had sex with her too. I bet you she's gonna do some dumb shit like that. Watch. After that, it goes to Danny. Yes, Danny. Danny's at work. And all you see and hear is Tony running up behind her, calling her name. So Danny finally stops, and they start talking. So Tony asks Danny, like, hey, are you busy? And you know, Danny is a sarcastic person. So she's like, yeah, I'm so busy. I'm so slumped. Knowing damn well there's no customers around. And, you know, Tony's like, okay, you're right. Like, there's no customers. Danny says, I worry about the airport sometimes. Tony says, okay, what do you mean? And she's like, well, I'm like, when if it's ever gonna close down? Like, it just seems like eventually this shit gonna close down. It's never busy. Tony says, you know, you can work for us or work with us. And Danny's like, no, cause it's a conflict of interest. Tony says, what conflict of interest do you have? And she was like, hello, you and me. And he's like, oh, and he starts smiling, like blushing, whatever. And then Tony says, how would that be a problem? So Danny really had to break it down to him, like, why it be a problem. Like, so she goes, like, us talking, us flirting, like, that'd be a conflict of interest, don't you think? So basically Tony says, like, yeah, I get it, but like, you could still come and work for us if you want. The job is always here. And then he goes something like, so us flirting and stuff, don't you think that Preston will have a problem with that? So Danny finally tells him, like, yeah, we're not together. I don't want to talk about it, like, but we're just not together. So then they finally make plans to go on a date, their first date, just them alone. And I guess it's cute, but for some reason, it's not giving what it's given. I feel like he is too good to be true. And I hope Danny watches her motherfucking back, because Preston is not coming back to save you this time. Okay, so now I finally figured it out. We all know who got married, because I thought it was somebody other than this person. But when Danny was on the phone with Sabrina and she got like a text message or like a picture message, and there is Preston married. Preston is married. He didn't waste no motherfucking time. Like, he was like, you know what? I'm out of the state. I'm going back home and I'm going to marry that girl that I was supposed to be married to. And yeah, congratulations, Preston. He is not coming back. He's not coming back. But yeah, you could tell Danny looked really upset. She looked sad. And at the end of the day, I feel like she missed out. I feel like she made her pride and her fear miss out on some true love. So sad face Danny, but hey, he had to do what he had to do, honey. Okay, y'all, so the last scene of this episode is Andy. So Andy walks back to her job. She walks in, strutting herself down the hallway, and there is Penelope sitting down waiting for her. When she got up, she was like, hey, what are you doing here? So Penelope said, I'm so sorry for coming to your office, but I really, really need to talk to you. Then, of course, Annie gonna say, I just told your brother I am not ready for this discussion right now. Y'all need to give me some time. And Penelope says in the sweetest voice, I just need to talk to you. So I feel like Andy seen the concern on her face and was just like, okay, let's talk. And then here comes Gary in an all blue suit right behind both of them. Like, y'all going somewhere? Bro, we're not going with you. Mind your business. And the episode finished like that. Like, come on. Gary, what are you doing here, bro? This is not your place of business. First of all, Hayden is not even talking to you. So what are you here for? What you here for, bro? Like, ew, you such a stalker. I don't like it. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for listening to my recap of Sista'S episode 21. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I probably didn't really tell all details of every scene. Yeah, let me know if I missed anything important. And you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next week. Peace.